Hello Star Citizens, Buzzkiller here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Argo Mole. So the Argo Mole is the third mining ship that's been announced and the second one flyable. It went straight to flyable with the 3.8 patch and is currently available for Warbond $270. It is a multi-crew upgrade to the Prospector. Now this ship is multi-crew, no doubt about it. It has a pilot seat, a co-pilot seat, and 3 size 2 mining turrets. The turrets are not easily accessible by the pilot. They cannot be controlled from the pilot station, so you will need at least one other person to mine with this ship with any efficiency. I went out with a friend of mine and we went mining, and yeah, every now and then we'd find a rock that was too tough for him to hit alone, so I would stop the ship and run back to one of the turrets and help him out. But ideally, you'll want a crew of at least 2 or 3 along with you to, again, get the most out of this ship. So if you're looking for an upgrade to the Prospector, this really is not it. It's a totally different use case. Now, what's cool about these mining lasers is that they have a very nice field of view. The front mining laser here slides, once you get in, it slides forward, and it has not quite 360 degree of view, and it probably about 70 degrees down. Now, the problem is it doesn't have a very high elevation, so once you're in there, it doesn't point up very high. So you can't, the problem is on the planets, when you're using the ship, you cannot mine rocks that when you've landed the ship. You have to remain hovering. And in its initial build here, the current 3.8, the ship is a bit of a fuel hog, so you will be struggling to fill up your cargo hold while mining on a planet before you run out of fuel. So again, here's the front mining turret, and you have these little side turrets, really tiny, and they all have some really cool animations as they extend out. These actually, the side turrets actually extend down and out. That shield on the side here moves up to allow the turret to extend. Here on the bottom, you can see we have the 8 mining canisters, or ore canisters, and these are, CIG says, a little bit bigger than the ones on the Prospector, but they're going to have eventually the same functionality where you can drop one of these and then have someone else come pick it up in like a Freelancer Max. In fact, one of the game packages available, or one of the ship combo packages available, is this ship with a Freelancer Max. So I guess they're designed to work together, where the Max can pick up your cargo and take it back to the refinery to sell. So each of these canisters, I can't remember how many SCU. I think they said it was 12 SCU. That doesn't sound right, because I think the max SCU is 69 of ore capacity. And of course, once these fill up, eventually you'll be able to drop one off, and you'll have 2 spare bags to replace it. So again, this one bag will fall off, and you can kind of see up there, this little section here, that there are other bags up there ready to take its place. So a pretty cool design. The ship is incredibly detailed. I mean, you can see all the industrial pipes and greebly bits that are just really, really nice. It kind of has some, I mean, the only other Argo ship we have is the MPUV, and of course that comes in the 2 variants, the cargo and the personnel carrier. But this is the first real ship we have. It's probably about the length of a Freelancer, maybe just a little bit longer, a little bit wider than a Max, but of course it's twice as tall. So it's quite a large ship, and it does spawn on medium pads on Olisar, which is kind of surprising. It just barely fits. These 4 main engines are really cool. They when it's in landing position, you can see that they are horizontal. But once the landing gears goes up, they move into a sort of an X position. And then, of course, you have these large Vtol thrusters. And what's nice about the Vtol thrusters is you can have them down like this, and they will aid you in atmosphere hovering, but you still have these 4 main engines to push you forward. So you don't lose a whole lot of thrust when your Vtol thrusters are down. Likewise, your deceleration isn't affected too badly because I don't think the Vtol thrusters even have retro thrusters on them, but you do have these 2 very large retro thrusters on the front that do an adequate job of slowing the ship down. It's obviously not super maneuverable. It's a big industrial ship, but it does fairly well. For weaponry, you can see up at the top there we have 2 size 2 fixed laser repeaters, so not much. It's not going to be very effective because, yeah, the ship is not super maneuverable and fixed weapons are really hard to aim right now. Yeah, but this is not a fighting ship. Okay, but let's just take another quick look around, see if there's any details we missed here. Let's look at the landing gear. So the rear has a sort of a split landing gear setup. You have 2 main gear. This one's broken into 2, and then this is a separate strut. And all that, of course, articulates as you would think. A couple of the maneuvering thrusters here on the bottom. They looked fixed, but I think they are actually jointed. Again, just really cool level of detail on the ship. And you'll see a lot more of that when we get inside and I do the external view from the top. So the ship comes in 3 trims. You have, this is the base model. You have a gray model. I think it's the Talos edition. And then you have the Carbon edition for Concierge, which is an all-black one. I have this one. It's not, I don't own this. This is a subscriber perk, but I may end up getting the Carbon version just from after playing with my friend. Okay, so in order to get in, the elevator is kind of hard to find, but it's right here. The actual interaction, if you look straight ahead instead of at the door, you'll find the use elevator button. And it's kind of an Aegis style elevator like you find on the Tally or the Hammerhead. And we'll head up. Interior feels very industrial. It's a very cramped, but there's a lot of stuff crammed in here that's pretty cool. So once you come in, you're in this main bay, and of course back here you have access to a few of your components, your jump drive. It looks like these may be some displays used to check your inventory or whatnot for the mining. The ship has no SU of standard cargo. It's all mining cargo, so there's no cargo bay. But you can see, I think this is another component housing with some kind of slatted door there. But again, the pipes are really cool. A lot of exposed piping, exposed wiring. Very neat. Very, very, very utilitarian look. Now to the left and the right here you have access to the side turrets. And inside you have, each of these you have a place to store an environment suit. And that's important because right now, once you're in the side turrets, you're actually exposed to the elements. All the doors on the Argo are kind of different in that they close on a timer. You have to manually open them, and they close on the timer, so that's pretty neat. But yeah, that door closes. All that does is seal the ship. This area is wide open, so you are exposed to the elements when you're mining in this turret. And let me go ahead and show you the animation from the interior and the exterior, because it's a pretty cool animation. As you can see, we're sliding down and away. You kind of catch a glimpse out of the right there that the door was open. But once you're down, you slide forward, and then you have the mining beam. And as you can see, that's as high as I can go. So the ship is designed to hover over whatever it's mining. Of course, I'm clipping through the landing pad there. And let's look at that from the exterior. So you can see I'm kind of forward on the mining arm. It's kind of moving as I move the camera. You can see the shield is retracted. So let me go ahead and exit out, and you should see the animation in reverse. Oop, kind of occluded it there. So again, pretty cool. There we go. And of course, to the right, you have the other turret, and then you have the ladder going up to the second deck. Excuse the little purple things. It's some kind of little graphical glitch in Arena Commander currently. All right, so here is our main crew area. So you've got more component access here. You've got a little table to sit and eat. You've got a small kitchenette. Looks like some kind of drink dispenser here. Looks like some storage around. These almost look like little trays you pull out and eat on. Kind of cafeteria style tray storage there, so that's pretty neat. I'm guessing these might be pantries you could open. I don't know. A lot of ventilation. Very orange. Very cool. So to the rear, you have the sleeping area. You have room for 2 more environment suits on either side. You have 4 bunks, and these are very similar to the Constellation bunks in that they double as your escape pods. So if you have the ship fully crewed minus the co-pilot, then you have enough room for everybody to sleep and log out. In the back, you have the restroom, latrine, the head, whatever you want to call it. The toilet does slide out, along with the toilet paper, because this is, I guess, supposed to double as the shower. You've got the cold hot knobs here on the side, and it looks like that might be the shower head that's supposed to pop out, but it's not currently animated. So again, very tight, very utilitarian. Just going to look at some of the details, more of the piping, the fabric sound deadening material here that looks like it might be some more storage space of some kind up top. Moving forward, I'm not sure what to call this area. I'm guessing it has something to do with the mining laser extraction and ore processing. I don't know. The ship does not have a refinery. It will not have a refinery, nor will the prospector. So that's a change that was confirmed. You will have to go to a facility to filter and process your ore. But still very cool. Looks like we got some panels here that might be used in the future, again, for controlling all this equipment. More component access on the side. This is the stairs down to the front turret. I guess we'll go ahead and take a look down there. So this is the closest turret to the pilot. So if you're running a small crew and don't have enough people to man all 3 turrets, you probably want your 1 or 2 friends in the side turret, and then you'd come down here to give them a hand when they need it. But this is probably the most useful turret as well. So, I mean, range of motion wise. So kind of pros and cons there. My friend was actually in this turret, and I would run back to the rear when he needed help. But you can see it's got a nice, wide, horizontal field of view. This is as high as it goes, so it's very hard, again, to mine any rocks that are level or above you. It's all pointing down, and again, we're clipping into the landing here, so I'm going to go ahead and... It's probably about, I'd say, 60, 70 degrees down angle. But again, a very nice field of view for the turret. Let's go ahead. All right, I should have shown you the exterior. There's the turret extended, and you can see it's retracting. There we go. Let's go ahead and head up the ladder. I'm not a big fan of ladders in Star Citizen. They're still a little clunky feeling. They're either too slow or too fast, or they grab you when you don't want to. What's nice about this one is it does have this railing around it that kind of keeps you from accidentally hitting it and getting sucked in. Okay, so here is the bridge. Again, you have a co-pilot seat and a pilot seat. Currently, the co-pilot really doesn't have much of a function other than looking at displays. But if your friend wants to come up here and hang out while you're traveling, that's cool. Let's go ahead and jump into the pilot seat. It's one of the sliding style entries. There we go. And you can see that the HUD is orange, and it does turn your FPS visor orange as well, kind of like the Esperia Glaive turns your HUD red. But yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of the Argo transport. The layout is fairly similar with the upper MFDs, only you have 3 of them here, and it looks like you have an annunciator panel there. And you have a very basic radar 2D. Very cool joysticks. I wouldn't mind having a set of these. A lot of buttons and knobs. But overall, very, very decent field of view. I mean, you're blocked up and down a little bit, but it is an industrial ship. Let's go ahead and get to the external, do a fly around at the top before we take off. So again, you can see from the top, the ship is very, very utilitarian, exposed piping again, a lot of really cool greeble. I think it has a really nice profile. I like the orange and black paint scheme. I might miss that a little bit when I have the all black version, but I think I'm going to get it just because it seems to be, it's going to be the more rare version probably. I like how the rear Vtol Thrusters there are kind of on some pistons. Anyway, let's go ahead and power it up. I think we're powered on. I need to turn on the engines. Oh yeah, the Argo computer voice. It's very basic. All right, let's go ahead and take off. And we'll show you some of the animations here. Start off with the Vtol Thrusters. Very basic, up and down. But again, very useful. And then landing gear, which will reconfigure the engines. I just like that shot. That is a cool looking rear end there. Very cool. So obviously the ship is not super maneuverable. It takes a while to turn. I'd say it's probably on par, if not just a little bit worse than the Freelancers or a Constellation. I think it's probably in the middle of maybe in between a Constellation and Freelancer in maneuverability. The SCM speed looks like about 128, and it will get up over 1,000 at full afterburner. So it's got a decent top speed for a ship its size, especially. But overall, very, very cool. And I think I will definitely be adding one to my fleet just because I like to fly with friends. But yeah, look at that. I mean, just from the bottom, that is just so cool looking. Very, very nice ship. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this first look at the Argo Mole. Maybe in the future, if I can get some more friends on, we may do some videos of mining with it. But again, who knows? We'll see. I'm getting ready to move house. I'm going to be moving to California, unfortunately, for work reasons. So the video content is going to be a little bit lacking here for the next month or so while I get settled in. And but yeah, I've got my 3/8 bindings just about finished and polished, so there will be a video for that soon. If it hasn't already been published, I may end up publishing that first. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been Buzzkiller, and I'll see you in the verse.